Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
Happy Thursday, you guys. Welcome to another episode of TMI with Maiekayla. And today we have a special guest. Tom Wagner is in the house today.
Thank you.
All right. Can we give a round of applause for him? All right. There you go. All right, you guys. So he's actually a retired police officer, a coach for many sports.
Yeah.
And you are also running for Clark County Commission District C.
Yeah, kind of busy.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. If you're not busy, and what are you doing?
That's right.
So,
That's right.
All right. So this is awesome. You're also a man of God
Amen.
in a leadership position, right? You're doing stuff for the community. I'm pretty sure that all plays a role with each other.
It does. Everything kind of comes together.
Yeah.
So great career with Las Vegas Metro. Started in 1988. A couple 100,000 people in Vegas. So when you have your first home that is off of Warm Springs and Eastern, and it's a dirt lot, you've been here a while. So 2012, blessed to retire with a nice retirement. Watch my youngest son play professional baseball.
Oh, nice.
My oldest son is responsible for the music at the Raider Stadium, DJ for the Knights, and now does the Olympics. And so they're both on their own, so now it's dad's time. And
what do you do with your time now?
Well,
all of this?
Now 6 charities, 2 nonprofits, and running for commissioner.
So what are your nonprofits?
Yeah, so I actually have a nonprofit that I started called Cops for Kids. We're partnered with our police union doing scholarships for our fallen officers to send their kids to college.
Wow.
And because we've been very successful in raising money through our golf tournaments, that's kind of my wheelhouse. We've now branched out to doing underprivileged kids. So our last $50,000 we raised for a high school in town. We partnered with Western High School and brought them in and gave them $1,000 to $5,000 scholarships. And it was just really neat to see those type of kids that are normally neglected come in and look at a big check and they think that's the check that they got to cash. Or, the nice kid that says, oh, my grandma's in the car. She dropped me off. And we're like, no, bring her in.
Aww.
This is for you.
That's nice.
And then he's all excited. He's like, well, we can't afford the buffet. And I'm like, no, that's free too. This is your day.
Wow.
So anyways.
Why did you get into it? What started the organization?
Yeah, so that organization, that nonprofit, was started by the tragedy of Henry Prendez. He was a sergeant on our police department. In 2006, February 1st, he was shot while responding to a domestic violence call. And he had 2 great daughters, Kylie and Brooke, that were going through Faith High School. And he was the sole breadwinner. So we needed, as police officers, to figure out a way to continue them going to private school like Henry had wanted.
That's awesome.
So great gentleman by the name of Ryan McCullough, a couple other guys, we stepped up and we figured it out, and birthed out of that has become us raising several $100,000 for our kids.
Oh, I give you guys props. So how can people support this? How can people donate?
Yep. So we do a charity once a year. Because my son was a professional baseball player, we've been blessed to have Bryce Harper, Chris Bryant, Joey Gallo, Pete Rose, Raleigh Finger, Shane Victorino.
Snap.
Some great names coming out to golf with these participants. So we do that every year in December. Before they have to report for big league camp. So that's one way to donate, is get involved with our golf tournament. Or we have a PMSA website that I could throw out there. That,
yeah.
So
Send
it's
us
called.
the links.
Yep, I'll send the link. But yeah, we're just very blessed to have our community involved.
Yeah.
Buy into it and understand that we need to help our kids out that are left behind.
No, that's awesome. I love that you guys are providing resources for your own people and just helping out those who don't have those resources. That's awesome. Well, I know you're super active in the community. First of all, you're a retired police officer. So you actually got out during the time of all the riots that were happening during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Did you ever wish that you went back, or were you happy that you were out?
Twofold. I think your heart wants you to be back involved.
Yeah.
Because you want to protect your community and do what you think is right. But then sometimes you look at your age and you go, you know what?
Can I keep up with that?
That's up for the young guys and gals. But we've got a great organization. Our department is one of the top departments in the country.
Wow.
So very blessed to say that I was a Las Vegas police officer.
Yeah. Very honorable, yeah.
Yeah. It's a tragedy, though, that we had to go through what we went through. And hopefully we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah. Well, I say anybody who has this type of background and you're getting into politics, I feel like there's more than just a position here for you. I feel like there's probably more that you can do for the community as a whole. What are you fighting for if you win?
Yeah, so I think, safety number one. Obviously, I think when you look at the polling, people believe safety's their number one concern. I see that. I represent District C, which is Charleston North all the way to Mount Charleston,
Oh, wow.
Red Rock all the way down to the 95 freeway. So it's a pretty big, diverse representation. But in saying that, a lot of people that I'm talking to while I'm out there meeting, handing my pamphlet out, their concern is public safety and then responsible growth. And I think responsible growth means we don't want what happened in California. And that's what a lot of people are saying is, just don't bring your California here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that, but, people are saying it. So I think we have to look at responsible growth. Everybody wants our community to continue to grow and take in the people that want to move here from different states. But let's do it responsibly, especially in my district, which has a lot of half-acre horse properties. We don't need an apartment complex next to a horse property. So as long as we do those things smart, and I think as a county commissioner and my previous job at Metro, it's bringing two parties together and make sure that both people are happy. There's
Fingers crossed we could do that. Make everybody happy here.
Fingers crossed. Yep. And sometimes you have to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
You have to vote with what is right, what's in law, and vote for it, and then hopefully make sure that people can work together.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you said one of the issues that people were
Concerned about
was safety, right?
Yeah.
So what exactly are the safety issues that's going on in those locations?
Yeah, and I think everybody thinks, crime only happens on the Strip or downtown or Nellis and Charleston.
Yeah,
that's not the case anymore.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And as a prior law enforcement officer, I was a victim of a burglary just
You?
2.5 years ago.
Well, you ever stole from a police officer? Wow.
Yeah, and they took my service weapon.
Oh, wow.
So that's the unfortunate part is you're never going to not have crime in your area. And I think we're just seeing it more and more with the homeless problems. I think our vets are underserved now. There's a gentleman that sits at Hualapai in Charleston every day that I wave to, I talk to. He just has nowhere to go. And that's sad that our community cannot find the resources to get this guy off the streets.
He's homeless? He's homeless?
And he's a veteran.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what can we do?
Well, we've got resources out there. In talking to plenty of the county commissioners that I have since I started running, one of the best people that I've met was Marilyn Kirkpatrick. And everybody's like, oh, you're talking to a Democrat and you're a Republican. I'm not an R, I'm not a D. I am a human being who wants to figure out solutions.
I respect that.
Yeah, it really is. And so I think having a party name behind is doing nobody any good, especially in politics at this level. So I think it's important to figure out what resources we have at the county and then get the right county person involved and connected. So that's what we're doing now with that gentleman. And hopefully at a small level, I made a difference in some man's life.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Well, actually, I do have a family member. He is homeless, actually. So I got to see things on I guess where all the homeless people are at. And I hear different stories that they try to be on the low because the city could kick them out if they all find out that they're there. And then I have other people where they say, oh, well, they like keeping the homeless here, stuff like that. So on a business side, it makes sense to not have homeless people in a certain area because it drives customers away or puts out a bad reputation. And then some other people, they say it's best to have them there. It protects the area. I don't know. So what are your opinions? Because I'm pretty sure this is something you're going to work on. What do you suggest for homelessness?
Well, I think probably a lot of the issues with the homeless are mental health issues.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. Yeah.
And even many years ago when I was on the strip pedaling my bicycle for Las Vegas Metro, we had homeless people that were mentally ill that didn't want to be on their medication. So what are we doing to get those resources together, whether it's Metro, it's Clark County Government Services, it's the Health District, bringing everybody together to figure out what we could do better.
Yeah.
We've got a great homeless shelter downtown, but a lot of people don't want to be downtown. And they have certain hours that they're kicked out so they can clean the facility. And then if you're involved in any type of drugs and you're caught, you're permanently kicked out. So that is not a resource for you anymore. So I think we need to do a better job of finding resources for these people to go and then help them get on their feet. I'm not up for just a handout.
Yeah,
okay?
100%. Correct.
Born and raised in Minnesota on a farm, I never had a handout. I had to work. I had to pick weeds, I had to milk cows, did all those things that our family were involved in, but there was never a handout, but there was a hand up. And so if you help yourself, then we should be able to help you get on your feet and figure out the services that are out there, and a lot of them unused. People don't know about them. So I think it's just going to be knowledge and then getting the right parties together to make those things happen.
See, I love that you're saying get with the right parties, and earlier you're saying, oh, you're talking to a Democrat.
Yeah.
I think sometimes because I want to say probably got involved with politics for about 2 years now, and I think there's a point, it's like, are we here fighting for the party, or are we here fighting for certain values? And there's some people that are voting for their party, just they don't even know what this person does or stands for, but they're just gonna vote because it's what they are affiliated with. Yeah. So I love what you're saying.
And a great story about that. If you're not educated as a child about politics, you're never going to know. For example, I've got another small business that I own. I own an Allstate. I own an Allstate office.
Oh yes, you're for insurance,
yes.
Right? Okay.
So
go ahead.
That Allstate office obviously is employing employees, but we have some younger employees there that were never taught about what party meant and what. And so I have one great employee now, Joanna, that is very, she wants to learn. So it's great just to teach our younger generation of what those parties represent, and then obviously voting and being educated about.
Yeah, that's true.
She would have never known, what the unions do or what, So if you're not being taught by your kids, you got to be taught by somebody.
Oh, that's true. That is very true. No, that's awesome. I forgot. Actually, I did see your post that you do insurance. Okay, so you own your own business. You're a retired police officer. You're a coach right now. You're running for politics, and you're here to change the whole world.
And you know what? One guy doesn't change the world, but if there's 100 guys and gals, because we've got a great ton of community leaders that are women.
Thank you.
And I'll say it, Marilyn Kirkpatrick, Catherine Cortez Masto, I could go on and on with the dynamic women that I've been surrounded with. One of them is Sherelle from the Roar Fest.
Sherelle's awesome.
Sherelle's awesome.
No, 100%. That is a solid woman.
Yep.
Like, badass. Like, 100%. I don't even know what else to say. This
I
girl's
went to
solid.
Horses and Heroes, which is a small business owned in my district, just because the lady said, hey, you're running for politics. I want you to see what's in your community. So I go out there, and she does a program for kids. And they get to ride horses. They get to
Nice.
pitch manure. They get to feed the horses. And I looked around the camp. Every one of them were women.
Wow.
When her husband finally came up to introduce himself, I said, hey, we're kind of outnumbered here, aren't we? And he's like, yeah, we are.
You know,
Every day.
Right before you got in here, I was actually speaking to Johan about, because most of the time I'm the youngest girl in the room, okay, and usually they're all grown men, and I'm just like, usually I'm very vocal, and then it came just a little bit. Just kidding. But it came to a point where I was being looked down on, like, what my opinions didn't matter. And it's so crazy that you're talking about this, because right before you got in here, we were talking about, just especially I'm a beauty queen. That's why when you came in here, oh, she's just a beauty queen, huh? We're going to see how this conversation goes today.
Never. Did my research.
But it's just stuff like that where I love it when people are respecting women. I'm not saying like, oh, women, like,
That
the
woman
women talk.
power.
Yeah.
No.
I believe in respect for men and women and having self-respect. So meaning if I want to be vocal about something, I'm not here to shut down another man and take his like manhood away or whatever, but you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And vice versa. But that's another conversation. Sherelle, we love you.
Mm-hmm.
Sherelle's the one that actually connected us.
She did. She did. And, just another great organization being involved with. Sherelle comes to me several months ago. We have coffee like once every other week. And she's just that dynamic woman that sees a problem and identifies it. She runs for office. She doesn't get it. Okay. Her and her husband start a coffee company. Another great thing. Now she's doing things with the convention centers and bringing beautiful models in. And then she comes and says, hey, I have a new idea. I'm like, what do we have now? She's like, how about a Roar Fest for kids?
I love it.
So me and her started going to look at property, figuring out how we could piece it together. And here in the next month, we're going to have an unbelievable Christian worship for our kids.
That's awesome.
And in Sin City. Go
So
figure.
you're part of this, right?
I am.
All right.
yeah.
Tell me what your part with this.
So, of course, having a small business doing security after the badge security, a little plug.
Another business.
That's
yes.
right, another business. We are going to provide law enforcement officers, retirees, and veterans to do the key areas. So that'll be the concert, stage, backstage, and then the venue will do all the other security part. We just want to make sure everybody has a safe, fun 2 days. And so blessed to have my security team there and be involved at the ground level.
Awesome. Well, actually, I used to be a worship leader at my own church. So anyways, I had this vision that I was going to lead worship downtown here in Las Vegas. Let me tell you guys this, and I know that Sherelle is a woman of God that's like really pushing, she's really pushing the media right now, because I know that God has something planned for her. Like, even though I believe that even though that she didn't win the election, I still believe there is a purpose over her life. And like, if it wasn't for her election, I probably wouldn't have known her. I probably wouldn't have got to know all of the things that she's doing. She's making moves. With that being said, worship in Sin City, like, you are about to trigger some demons over here.
Amen.
That's awesome. Like,
100%.
I am like, we need this, because especially with things that's going on in the world right now, like Christianity and biblical values is something that's not even respected. It's something that's actually being taken out of the community, out of homes, out of schools. Yeah. So it's just more of, this is triggering something. So I know something big is going to happen. Even when I led worship at I don't want to say the location, but downtown, even management, they told me while I was worshiping to already shut it down because they didn't know I was going to worship. But I had the mic, so that was my opportunity.
There you go.
But I honestly believe that Christians needs to be, I know it's hard being a Christian, especially right now, but you know what? We have to move the pin, you know?
Philippians 4:13, he'll never give you anything that you cannot handle.
Ooh, amen. Amen.
Boom.
So how is it, you're a man of God and you're also getting into these leadership positions. How's that going?
It's, you know what, prayer time is important, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Just like we talked about 101 today, my alarm goes off in here.
It was like a doorbell went off.
Yep, it's kind of a chime. It's actually the chime on your iPhone. But the reason I say that is because I heard a great worship leader, Vance Pittman, several years ago, talk about 101 every day. Pray for that one person that you're with at 101. So it just happened to go off while I was in here. So, you know, I said you're part of my prayer request tonight and tomorrow morning. But back to how's it going? Today was a tough day. And I'll tell you, every week I have a meeting with my campaign team. So it's my campaign manager, some other key people that I want involved, fundraiser. And I was just down at the money that's going to take to get in the mailbox, to have walkers, to get my message out, isn't coming in the way I'd like it to.
Yeah.
Being a resident since 1988, I'm proud to say I know a lot of people in town. But when you're calling people, dialing for dollars is what they call it. Sometimes it can be tough.
I could imagine.
So I just...
handing out flyers, and then you're the one.
Yeah, but on my way here, I just opened it up back up to God and said,
That's
"Hey,
good.
I need to get out of my own way and let it be you."
Wow.
And so I had a text before I walked in here that shine light on a few more $1,000. That'll pay for a mailer or something. So I think as long as you pray, make God your priority.
Yeah.
And, you know, your life's pretty good. You just don't realize it sometimes.
That's true.
So it's been great getting my message out there. I've been talking to a lot of organizations. My calendars are pretty packed.
That's
but
awesome.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, if you're not busy, what are you doing, right?
Yep.
So actually, I want to talk about this because I think a lot of people, and this is even my perception too before I got into politics and all the organizations, I think everybody thinks that politicians are all rich and that if you are running, you are rich and that you have money, and that is not the case.
That is not the case.
A lot of your stuff, I'm pretty sure, is out of your own pockets. Secondly, I could only imagine how difficult it is to ask for donations and sponsors, and it's like you're supposed to be the big guy who makes the decisions, but then you have that. I think that's where humbleness and humility comes into, is because you depend on the community to have your back and to build your platform. So you guys support your politicians, support any candidate running. Well, not any. Find out who you want to support, but these people don't got money. They don't have money. These organizations, in all honesty, they don't have money. It may sound like they have all of these fees and everything. In all honesty, they're not getting sales. You see like 100 people in there, that doesn't mean 100 of them are paying for everything. So
and on your local level, it's a lot different than your senator or the president.
Is it harder on your local level?
Yeah, because you know, a lot of people, they want results, they want their community to be safe, but they won't back you financially, and I get that. I mean, not everybody has the means. But if I got $10 from 1,000 people, that would surely be nice.
That's true. You guys hear that? $10.
And then it's the developers, it's the landowners, it's you know, the county. If you're involved with the county at all, you're going to come to my office and you're going to need something. My door is always going to be open, whether you donate to me or not. More importantly, you're going to know where I'm going to vote. A lot of people on the campaign trail have said, "Hey, we just want access, And that access, we just want to know if it's a yes or a no. We don't want to be surprised come the voting day
Yeah.
and then you turn on us.
That's true. I think my issue with this is something I look at when it comes to anybody that's running. I look at how well do they do with accountability. So, because a lot of people, especially if you're trying to win votes, you're gonna say whatever that the people wants to hear. So accountability is huge. If you see them turning the red flag, they're going to turn on something bigger later on. So how can we support you? What do you need? Like, what is it that you really need for your campaign to make this work?
Mine is going to be a grassroots effort. So I need people to walk with me. If you're retired, walk with me during the day. If you're a young person, you want to get involved in politics and see what it's like, and you don't mind talking to people and knocking on doors, we'll have super walks on Saturdays.
Nice.
Obviously, Sundays are off limits. That's the day of God. And so it's just one, walking, making sure I get my platform out there, and two, obviously the financial part. That's great, but I'm not going to stop just because I don't get enough money for mailers or all those things. So, and then word of mouth.
Yeah.
Now, you might not live in District C, but you probably know 2 or 3 people out there. So one, make sure that they're voters, because a lot of people aren't registered voters. So maybe we create some new voters too.
Yeah. I think people don't know how to do this stuff. So so this would be good, especially if you're young. Get your foot in there and figure out get to meet everybody. Meet the people running.
Be informed.
Yes, be informed.
A lot of people go into the voting booth and then they just look at a name that might be familiar to them. Oh my gosh.
Tom Wagner, okay?
Tom Wagner.
There you go. Sounds pretty like a famous name. As soon as you messaged me, I was like, I heard this name before, and then I find out you were already in my contacts a long time ago. So you guys,
and you thought I was Robert Wagner's son. That's probably what it was.
All right, you guys. So make sure you guys support him. We'll add his link to. You'll find it somewhere here in the post.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you guys. Any last words? Any specific messages you want to put out there?
No, you know what? Respect your community. Be a good community member. Hopefully you have a relationship with God or some higher power. And I'm just blessed to be alive, right? I mean, I'm just, the opportunity to come in, talk about myself. I'm just honored that you would do that.
Of course. I always love talking about ourselves. So.
Yeah. And look forward to representing my community.
There you go. Awesome. All right, you guys. Until next time, make sure to follow him and walk with him to the doors, hand out flyers.
There we go.
Thank you, guys.